Welcome to the Abundant Life Podcast, bringing you encouragement and challenging believers to spiritual change and growth by applying biblical principles to everyday life. And now your hosts, Saso Mendez and Ben Ariano.
Welcome, everybody, to the Abundant Life Podcast. This is episode number 69. I'm here with my good friend and faithful servant of faith, Saso Mendez.
Hello, hello. We got some special guest here in the house, a man with two first names, who's making his second appearance.
Yeah. Back by popular demand, we have JJ.
How you doing?
Good, good. How you doing?
JJ brought a guest, did you?
My good friend Scott Crossell. Talked about him last time on the last podcast.
You did?
Yeah.
It's probably the last time you'll hear my first name.
Oh, from JJ?
Yeah. I always just refer to him as Crossell, you know. Alex always says too, it doesn't even feel right calling him Scott.
That good or bad?
I mean, you know, I met him as an officer, you know, I met him as a cop. They go by their last names, and he wasn't my friend at that time. You know, like we've built our relationship after that, and I've always called him Crosso. And then I think when he gave me his personal number, it's when he said, "Dude, you can start calling me Scott now."
Man, you got onto the next level.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just excited to have the number. I was like, "Oh, he gave us the number," you know. I was like, he wants us to call him Scott. Alex is like, no.
Well, it's like an adult, right? When you're a kid and you call them, you know, I don't think they do that anymore because kids don't have that same respect, but you would say, you know, Mr. Mendez or something, and then you get old enough and they're like, hey, just call me Jim. And you're like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I still say Mr. Men. Like, yeah, I think it's just respect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
And that may be the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's respect. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but...
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a respect for him, but it's just Crosso. To me, that is his first name, you know?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right, well, so for Taco Talk, bro, tell us about this ramen I hear that you made.
Alex made some birria for some friends the other day. And, so last night we had leftover birria. I hooked up a ramen noodle and threw some birria on there, made some birria ramen. And I was like, I got to send a picture of this to Sasso.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
It looked really good, too. They didn't know.
It was so good, I had another
bowl
before I came over here.
Oh, Tony would have had 5.
Wow.
Tony would have ate the whole...
And then he still would have smashed a whole pizza.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a big boy. Does he have to eat more than like a normal person?
Yeah. There's a note that he comes with that says feed every 3 to 4 hours. You know what I mean? He's like Jurassic Park. He's eats with a shovel.
Man, that must be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, they bring donuts to FTL, and he's like, I'll have one box.
One box.
Yeah,
one crate.
That's why I was so excited when he got a job, because I no longer had to buy his meals.
Yeah.
That was encouraging to me.
Well, what do you think he would do if you give him like a Happy Meal or something? Think he'd cry?
Probably beat me up because it's not enough.
There's like 4 nuggets in there.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, you know?
Yeah.
He'd eat the prize, too.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even know.
Yeah, he's big.
So, Scott, what are you into? What type of food do you like?
Well, I'm from the Midwest, so you could probably guess where are we going to go with this?
Steak.
Yeah, definitely
Meat,
steak.
potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Maybe roast.
Yeah.
Grass-fed beef.
Nothing crazy, right? But I've been in Arizona for over 20 years now, but I'm still kind of stuck in that.
Were you in law enforcement there as well? And
No, I actually graduated from high school, went to college for a couple of years, but joined the Army Reserves straight out of high school. Then I went to active duty in the Army, spent 10 years in the Army. When I got out in 2003, moved down here to Arizona. That's when I first entered into law enforcement. I actually started at Maricopa County, working in the jails, so I'm very familiar with the ramen recipes from walking around in there. Did that for a year, and then got hired on by Salt River. Worked out there for about 4 years, and then went to the agency that I'm with now.
okay,
So question of the night. Where do you go for steak here in Arizona, in Phoenix?
You know, I like Firebirds is one of my go-to. I really like Firebirds.
At JJ's house over there.
Oh, you got a Firebirds, man?
P83.
We do. Alex's parents took us there the day we got married.
Oh, nice.
That's the only way I know about it.
But I actually go to Firebirds more for the deviled eggs with the bacon and jalapeno in them.
Is that an appetizer? Or is
Yeah. It could be a full meal. It's
Really?
it's a lot.
Alex makes some good deviled eggs.
I hear about all the good things she's making, but I don't taste any of the good things she's making.
We'll have to have you guys on.
When we got a potluck at FTL, you got to come through.
Yeah.
Like the first of the month. You know what I mean?
Let us know. Just don't tell Tony about it.
We'll tell him it's at 8.
I was listening to Caleb this morning. They were talking about deviled egg. They were talking about the different foods they have at like state fairs.
Caleb F?
Caleb.
Oh, Caleb. I was like,
Yeah.
Caleb.
And got that crazy.
Sorry, bro. Okay.
And they were talking about fair food,
Yeah.
and everything's usually fried or whatever. But this lady was talking about deviled eggs with cookie dough in them, and I'm just thinking to myself, that just doesn't even sound good.
No.
Deviled eggs with cookie dough. JJ, you got a mind for some of this stuff, bro. What do you think?
I like cookie dough and I like deviled eggs. So, together though, I don't know.
I wonder, maybe it's just like the cookie dough inside the egg white. I'm thinking because if you put the yolk part, that's kind of gonna clash.
With the mustard and
It's gonna.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
But they liked it?
No, I don't know. They were just critiquing different things, but they thought it was sounded gross. I don't know.
It does.
It does sound great.
That does. Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
If you're not in jail, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Some of the fair food's pretty good though.
I would say most of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some pretty good barbecue, the big turkey legs. What's the one you like? The haystack fries.
Oh, they're delicious. Have you guys had the haystack fries at the fair?
I've only been to the fair once.
I have not. I'm heading to the Orange County Fair next month, though, so
okay.
I'll see what
in
they got there.
California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's a Orange County in New York, I think.
Yeah, no,
I feel
California.
like some hot dogs at the fair. Are they good?
Corn dogs.
Corn
Yeah,
dogs.
got a lot of corn dogs.
Do they have hot dogs at the fair?
They probably do.
I think so.
We went to the Iowa State Fair one time. It was pretty cool, but they got a lot of corn, obviously, because everything's roasted corn and whatever, But it was pretty good.
It's not elote, it's corn.
It's
No,
corn.
I think they did have elote. I think, bro. They had some taco shops there, bro. You wouldn't think so, but
They got taco shops everywhere. Right?
Yeah,
Every place got tacos.
Mexicans are gremlins. They just spawn everywhere.
They got
Got no
tacos
cable,
everywhere.
10 kids.
it's like in Maine, bro, Montana. There's like a taco shop. There's a taco truck somewhere.
Yeah,
Lobster taco.
when me and Alex got together, she would just give me so many faces. I throw everything in a tortilla. She's like, "Why? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm eating." And I told her I'd throw everything in a tortilla. I throw ramen noodles in there.
Yeah, that's a little hard for me.
That's Mexican though.
That's-
Apparently, you made a tamale with
yeah,
ramen noodles.
yeah,
It's
ramen
pretty crazy.
noodles, some nacho
Well, she eats
chips.
sauerkraut, right? I mean, they can't. Who eats that?
Yeah,
It's like it's nasty.
I mean, I don't mind
Gustavo.
it. I don't mind it. It's different.
It's good for you.
Is it?
It's good for your gut.
It's good for your gut.
Yeah.
You get
So
things
is
moving.
ramen. Ramen will clear you out.
So the sauerkraut.
That's what they use for colonoscopies now. Just give you some ramen. Like, oh, he'll be cleaned out. He'll be cleaned out tomorrow. 24 hours, he'll be good. Good to go.
Yeah.
So, what else do you like besides Firebirds? Is there another?
Steakhouse.
No, our go-to lately is just very simple: cold beer and cheeseburgers.
Okay.
But we go to church on Saturday nights, and there's one right outside our church, like right down the road, on your way out of the.
Do you go
The
to
drive.
CCV?
No, I go to Christ Church in Gilbert. So that's kind of my wife and I's go-to spot after church. Hang out for a little bit. Yeah.
Because I know there's one on 67th, just north of CCV on
Okay.
Deer Valley.
Which
I
Christ
guess.
Church do you go to?
It's just Christ Church Gilbert.
Oh, Gilbert. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you come all the way from Gilbert?
Well, yeah, East Valley.
Wow, we're gonna have to pitch in for gas money when we're done here.
Company.
Wow. Okay. all right. We don't want to go too far into that, but okay, I get what you're saying. I see what you're laying down there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so I'm taking a couple guys from church to the baseball game. He's like, I'll take you wherever you want to go eat. You know, and so I try to pick, Rito's, cheap place for happy hour specials. And he said, no, something good like steaks. I go, let's go to Steak 44. He said, okay, wherever you want to go. And I'm like, I'm just kidding. Because Steak 44 is like the most expensive restaurant in Arizona.
Yeah.
He didn't know any better. Like we would
It's pretty good though, man.
Yeah, we would never talk again after he took me there.
Yeah.
Full grau.
Yeah, we took my mom to what was it, Mastro's, and
that's up there.
it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. She had ordered like, what do you want, Mom? Like whatever, get whatever you're gonna eat. And I think she ordered lobster or something, and they brought her meal, and it was right behind her, and she's all like, oh, it stinks. She's all like, smells like fish. Your food's here, Mom. She's like, oh, yum, it looks so good. I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's why we can't have nice things.
I know, right?
But for the money, I think Texas Roadhouse, you really can't beat that steak for the money.
You can't. I get that military discount there too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get those rolls with that fake butter, but that fake butter is pretty bomb, dude.
It's still in me because it's plastic.
What do you mean fake butter?
It's margarine, you know what I mean?
It's not real butter.
It's not that Midwest butter.
It's not country crock?
It didn't come from the crock.
It is a crock. But it didn't come from the country.
It didn't come from the cow, bro.
You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. So like steak, I like steak too. And
Cheddar's has a pretty good steak, man.
Cheddar's is pretty good. Have you been to Cheddar's before?
I have. I don't think I've had the steak.
Ribeye pretty good there.
I know somebody that likes the rolls better at Texas Roadhouse, but we're not going to say names in this podcast. But yeah, I think Cheddar's is those croissants.
Yeah, those are pretty good. That honey butter. Is that real butter? That's real butter.
I don't ask, bro. I just eat it.
I think so because everything's made from scratch of it. So they're churning butter somewhere, right?
Yeah. There's a Mexican guy in the back. They grind it.
There was.
Well, yeah. He got raided. Wow. It's like Cold Barbecue. You know what I mean? They got raided. Cisco told me they shut down. Have you been to Cold Barbecue in Prescott?
No.
They shut down?
That's what Cisco said. I told him, watch your mouth. He said, no, I'm serious.
Seriously?
Broke my heart.
Oh, my.
It's the best barbecue I've had. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best, but it's pretty good. It's
Bro.
Little Miss is pretty good too, bro.
You think Little Miss is better than Colt?
I don't know. I'd have to have him back to back. That's the thing.
I've been wanting to go to that. Is that good?
Little Miss?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's really good, bro.
Have you heard of
The
that?
brisket, amazing. Get the...
Is there only one location in the valley?
Yeah.
2.
Oh, there's 2.
Tempe and right here.
Didn't realize there was
Yeah.
7th Street by John C. Lincoln, not too far from the house.
I've been talking about that for like the last 2 months. I'm like,
Be sure and get the smoked pecan pie.
smoke peak.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
I seen that.
On Sundays, I got the pork belly. You can take some home, put it in your ramen.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything's good. And then put that in the tortilla.
The ramen and the pork belly?
Yeah.
Hey, when I was a kid, I was so fat that I'd put a tamale in a tortilla and eat it.
It was
My
good
dad's
too,
like,
huh?
You're gonna die like it's 16 if
It's
you keep doing
good.
it. It's delicious.
Everything
but,
is
yeah.
better in a tortilla.
Manteca with manteca. You know what I'm saying? I don't equal a positive there. It's still a negative. So my dad's like, you gotta slow down on that, son.
So do you make your tortillas, man, or do you buy them? Or how,
No,
what do
I
you
buy
do?
them. There's a carniceria in Mesa that we would stop by. It's on Broadway. In the mornings when we'd leave work, we'd stop there and I'd get tortillas there. I don't know how they make those tortillas, but I'm pretty sure we had a pack that we didn't touch for like 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, that thing's probably molded right now. And they were still good.
You sure wasn't McDonald's, bro?
Yeah, that's not good.
10 years after.
I'm like, there's no mold on it, but it shouldn't be good still. Oh yeah, just throw
Get the
it away.
Mac tortilla.
Yeah, and then the next time that I went there, I'm like, hey, how do you guys make your tortillas? And she's like, oh. I'm like, I had a pack for like 3 months and they never went bad. Like, what kind of stuff are you putting in there?
It's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
probably still in you right
I
now,
know,
preserved.
right? Yeah.
You got an internal tortilla with all your food you eat, with your ramen, just chilling.
It's good for the skin.
Oh,
good.
man.
Like Carolinas, right? I don't know if you've been to Carolinas.
Carolinas?
Carolinas, anyway, their tortillas go bad like in a week.
Yeah.
That's why I put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I want my food to go bad. I don't want to just sit there and just,
Right.
it's like,
Well, real food goes bad. That's the thing.
yeah, yeah,
There's no shelf life.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like Juanitas or what is that? That menudo you can buy at the store? Is it Juanitas?
Yeah,
Or-
Juanitas.
Yeah, Juanitas red menudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor man's Christmas right there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have a date with Juanita. But it's not how you think.
yeah.
She's taking me to dinner.
Should we hit it?
Let's hit it.
All right, guys. So just before we get into the content here, I wanted to just remind you guys, visit us at abundantlife.fm, and you can get all of our show notes. You can see our last podcast with JJ as well. And you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if this podcast episode is a blessing to you, would you just do me a favor and subscribe, hit that like button, and that way you get notified when new releases drop. And so with that, Sasso's going to get into our key verse for today, and we're going to jump into our content.
I think we have an excellent story tonight of being reunited in a different way. And so we're just going to go through with Romans 8:20-29. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So JJ, last time you were here, you were telling us that you got pulled over. I think you said you were on the Brez or close by, and it's funny how you know some of my family there, not in a good way. Like you guys weren't praying together, but don't need to go into all that. But you got pulled over. Like you saw a car out there, and you didn't know who it was, and then
Yeah,
you
so
realized it was.
I mean, obviously, the reservations don't have stores or a lot of things. So you got to go into the cities to, do your shopping or, car stuff, barbershop. So I was looking for a barbershop, and I think I had to be at work in a couple hours, and I was on a motorcycle, and I had my phone in my waistband. So I pulled over into what looked like an empty business into the parking lot, and to Google the address. And when I went to go pull away, there's a couple cops walking up on me, and they found out where I was coming from, and they called him. He knew that area really good, and I think there was another unit that pulled up before him, and then he pulled up, and I was like, oh, this is like feeling like my old days. And I just remember holding my phone, and I was just like, I'm just looking for the barbershop, and I'm just shaking. I'm like, oh, I just look guilty. And he pulled up, and he asked me my name, and I just told him JJ. And I'll never forget, he's like, Erasmo? And I was like, whoa, dude, like, how do you know my name? I'm like, I've been away for 14 years. I'm like, I'm not involved in that life. I don't have anything to do with that life. I walked away from all of it. I was like, I'm just looking for the barbershop. I was like, I work for CBI. Like, I'm doing good, And I think the more I talked, he was just like, I remember what he said. He said, I can't believe I'm hearing you talk the way you're talking. He said, you used to be crazy. And I was like, I changed, it's not me no more. And he asked me, they're like, oh, you're good. Like I felt their body language relax, and I was like, oh, okay, they're not going to sweat me over not having a motorcycle license. And, it was just my first encounter with them from getting out. And he asked if...
I think we talked about... I think I first asked if you'd be interested in talking to kids, maybe.
No. I brought that up to you. I thought you asked... You said... he said, "Hey, would you mind talking to my officers?" And I'm like, "You want me to build a case on something?" Like I'm not like I don't know, I don't know anything. I'm like I walked away from that a lot. There's nothing relevant that I can tell you. And he was like, "No, nothing like that." He was just like every so often we have a training, with rookie officers that have an interest in either the gang unit or they just take this class to I guess educate themselves on people that look like me or gangs, right?
Yeah.
And I just like sort of took it all in, and I was like, man, this is something positive. I'm like, if I do this, this is gonna be like one more step away from that life. Like I'm going and I'm like essentially like working with officers. I was like, oh, this is something good. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And they called me up, and I don't know, a couple weeks later or something.
Yeah, probably.
And had sort of like this debriefing process, I think, just to feel me out and make sure, like, not having somebody that's on drugs talking to our officers that are training, So I went through that and spoke to, I think, more veteran officers the first time, right?
I think the first time you came in and talked, it was just to my unit.
Yeah.
The people that I worked with on a day-to-day basis.
And then after that, I had mentioned my interest in working with kids and trying to get kids to walk away, like, before they end up like what I had to go through. And he said, "You know what? Sometimes we get calls for that, to get, like I don't know if you remember DARE."
Oh yeah.
So you remember DARE? They would have officers come to the school, and they would talk to kids about drugs and what it does. Like, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs and all that. And he said, hearing it from an officer, because I know for me when I was a kid and DARE officers would come to the school, everybody was like, DARE officers, like, nobody wants to hear that, But, bringing somebody that looks like your uncle or looks like your dad to the school, you're going to catch more kids' attention. I think that's what we were aiming for.
Yeah, that was definitely my purpose in it. I can, preach to kids all day long and tell them, hey, you don't want to walk down that road. You don't want to go down that path. This is what it's going to look like. But I can never provide the perspective of somebody who's actually walked that path. And so to have somebody that was so willing to do it, I just saw a great opportunity in that.
When did you first meet JJ informally or know about JJ?
So I first knew about JJ when I was working out on Salt River. So it would have been probably around 2007. And what he failed to tell you guys in the last podcast was he was literally like the most wanted guy in the Valley for probably a couple months. And that presentation that we do with kids, like there's, the headline from when he got sentenced and kind of tells the story of that. And so although I had never met him because he got taken into custody while I wasn't at work, but I was looking for him. So, anytime we're looking for somebody, we do a lot of research into their background, who do they hang out with, all that kind of stuff. And so and then I have this crazy thing where I just remember people, which is how 14 years later, when we meet on the side of the road and he says, JJ, and I say, oh, Erasmo.
Yeah, I didn't give my like, government name first, or like I just said JJ. And he's like, Erasmo? And I was like, oh, I'm like, how do you know me? I'm like, I've been away for a long time. But yeah, I was on the front page every day, on the news every day. Yeah.
So they wanted you bad.
Yeah, everywhere I'd go, they'd They were like, "Hey Jay, you're on the news," and I turned the TV off. I'm like, "I don't listen to that." I'm like, and I just didn't want to. I just didn't. I don't think I wanted to accept it as a reality that I'm like, oh man, I'm about to go away for a long time. People would show me newspapers like, "Dude, look," and I'd get the newspaper and I'd turn it around and I'm like, I don't believe that, like.
Well, you don't listen to your own podcast, so that makes sense to me. You don't want to see yourself on the paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you finally catch him, or somebody else got him?
No, he got caught. He did get caught out on Salt River, but I wasn't at work when he got caught.
Yeah. It was an experience. When they finally did catch up to me, it was Salt River PD,
Gilbert
PD, Scottsdale PD. It was like a joint effort between all these agencies, and it was like 1:00 in the morning, and the house that they caught me at was just lit up like it was 12:00 in the afternoon. And there was a helicopter, and it was
So they were taking you out.
Yeah. I try to ask for details, and he's like, I don't know, dude. Still under
I
oath.
forgot that part.
Can't tell you that kind of information.
Have Trump release the files.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nicole Mercado, co-founder of Canaloo Air. We are a Christian, family-owned HVAC and plumbing contractor specializing in residential and light commercial services. From AC maintenance, repair, and full system replacement to duct cleanings, we've got you covered. Our dedication to quality service comes through our use of highly skilled technicians, commitment to educate and empower our clients to make the best decision for their AC needs, and fair and competitive pricing. So give us a call today at 602-609-3480 or visit us online at canalooair.com. That's CANILU.com. And remember to stay cool with Canaloo.
So how long have you been a Christian, and were you a Christian before you became a cop?
No, I actually wasn't. I would tell you that my whole life I believed in God. My grandparents were Christians, but my mom and dad never went to church. I mean, maybe we went on like Easter sometimes or something like that. But so throughout my life, I would say I always believed in God, but I didn't know who Christ was. And so I think that's the distinction for me, but always seeking God in some way. So even when I was in the Army, I would go to a different base or, get stationed somewhere else, and I would go to church for a little bit and then not go for a long time, and I'm constantly reading books, and so just seeking God, and then once we moved to Arizona, started going pretty regularly to a Christian church, but still for me at that point, I hadn't put my faith in Christ, so I'm just kind of sitting in church on Sunday, checking a box because that's the thing I thought I should do with a young family, and so it really wasn't until I first really started looking at the Bible and understanding like the prophecies about Christ and who he was in the Old Testament, who they were prophesying him to be, and then connecting that to the New Testament, and then understanding, who I was as a sinner and that I needed a savior.
Amen.
And then that actually changed. I'm already a police officer at that point. And so that kind of changed my perspective on policing, and how I dealt with people and all that. So definitely something I had been seeking for a long time.
Now, when you saw JJ those 14 years later or 15 years later, whatever it may be, what were your initial thoughts? When you first saw him, did you think he was still up to no good, or did you hear him out? And
I really didn't think, oh, he must be doing bad. I mean, his immediate thing was like, hey, I'm not in that life anymore. He said, I'm working at CBI. His name hadn't come up at all. How long had you been out at the time?
It had to have been at least over 4 months, because for the first 4 months I was working on cars, and then I started at CBI, so I was probably out 5 or 6 months already.
Yeah. So like, I was on the gang unit at the time. And so usually if people are becoming a problem, their name will pop up, and, hadn't heard anything about him. And then just his demeanor, and he seemed sincere. And so, I've learned a term called unconditional positive regard, and him and I had a conversation about this the other day. And it's kind of like, where you see somebody as the potential that they have as opposed to the condition that they're in. And I've always felt like I try to take that approach to people and kind of give the benefit of the doubt until they prove themselves wrong. And so that's kind of the approach that I took.
And you saw a difference in JJ from what you remember previous.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just the fact that he was working full time, and even just having that conversation and being open to that conversation, and then coming in and answering questions for officers. And again, he's always made the distinction, like, he's never like told on anybody or gotten anybody in trouble with his past or what he knew, but just the fact that he was willing to open himself up so that officers could gain a perspective that they might not be able to get just from working. Like he opened himself up to pretty much any questions that they wanted to ask him.
And we talked about last time that you didn't know what the next step that God had for you. And I think we were trying to recognize that you were already kind of having an impact that maybe you didn't even realize. And then recently you brought, your cousin to Freedom at Last, who's been out of prison for maybe 3.5 weeks, kind of as an example of this is what this is different, right? You're talking to these officers and maybe youth in the future about trying to bridge that gap, right? And now you're trying to bridge a different gap of... Yeah,
and I just had another cousin get out yesterday.
Wow.
So me and Junior, we started up a family chat on Messenger. So it's me, my cousin Junior, Louie, Chris, Güero, and now Frankie. But almost every morning, it's everybody calling and just
like a roll call kind of thing.
Like a roll call, and just keeping everybody, accountable. Like, hey, good day. Everybody's at work, and just pushing for each other just to change. And my cousin that got out yesterday, we were all talking like, well, what do you think he's going to do? I'm like, oh, we're just going to love him from a distance on social media first, give him like a year and just sort of feel him out, And we just added him on, and he said he went to church last night. His wife's father is a pastor at a church on 51st Ave in Glendale, I think. So it's like I said, I don't know if I said it last time, but I just feel like there's like a lot of people turning to God right now. A lot of people.
Well, your cousin mentioned Freedom at Last, that, there's on the tablets that there's messages coming in, and even Christian songs, Christian rap, things like that are relatable to the inmates. And then he said one thing that you had mentioned that you had reverberated as well, that when he turned 18, his mom told him, when you get to prison, you got to watch your mouth. And he said that's kind of the advice, not go to college, but when you go to prison, like it was already an anticipated event in your life. Like this was the dreams I have for you. There was no positive reinforcement, and this is kind of the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, just alone in that chat, there's 5, 6 of us, and everybody on there has been to prison. And I screenshotted it and I sent it to Alex. I was like, we got another one on the chat, and she's like, that's so crazy that all you guys are out at the same time right now. I'm like, there's still another handful that are still serving time, and talking to Alex, it's everybody on her side of the family. It's so and so went off to college, so and so went off to the military, so and so went and got married and has a family, and for my family, it's so and so got a 20-year sentence. So and so got tried as an adult, and just like you said, like my cousin said, his mom telling him, when you turn 18 and you go to prison, you're gonna have to watch your mouth. That's how I grew up. And now a lot of those family members, though, they're all turning to God. It's just different.
Do you see any change out there on the street of people perhaps wanting to change their life around, or have things gotten worse since when you started?
I mean, I think just in looking at culture in general, I'm seeing more of a shift, I think, towards God. And I think it's just because things became like people just didn't have answers for anything. Like even the most basic things, a lot of people couldn't even answer basic questions about human beings or whatever the case may be. And now people are saying, you know what, maybe this really doesn't make sense, but there's got to be something out there that does make sense. I watched a show recently where, one of the guys that was talking actually how, even where, a lot of churches were just like very seeker friendly and almost more for the outside person than actually for the Christian. And they'd done away with a lot of tradition and things like that. He said, I'm talking to a lot of younger people who are really looking for tradition, which is a complete shift, I think, from the last, 10, 15 years where things got really seeker sensitive. And now it seems to be kind of the pendulum is shifting back to traditional type of churches.
So I think even on the streets, right, being real is respected, whoever you are. And I think the seeker sensitive, they realize at some point it may not be real. Like you can live whatever you want and come on church on Sunday, but not change your life.
Yeah. And I think last time that we met up, we were talking about how now there's like a young crowd, like teenagers that are actively seeking God or going to church, and it wasn't like that before. I think Pastor Shaw hit on that probably like a month ago or something, or somebody that was speaking was saying how there's a younger crowd now coming in, and I think there's just a lot of things going on in the world right now that people are just, like you said, looking for answers.
Yeah, and I saw like a documentary. It's been a while ago, but it was this guy from Dade County, Florida. He was a pretty bad dude, and in gangs and all of that. But he was kind of like most wanted type of deal over there, and he was crazy, like getting gunfights, bare knuckle fights, and like just crazy. A lot of the things that he did, and then he gave his life to Christ. I don't know if I can't remember if it was in prison, but he gave his life to Christ, and now he's like a street preacher. Now he's just going around preaching Christ, like strong. And it's like people see him, and doesn't have the appearance of you, and it has an effect though, because people will pay attention to people on the streets. They pay attention because it's like that dude's already been there and done that, right? And they are seeking, I think. But it's really neat to see that it kind of comes full circle around,
right.
I think other places I've seen it is even like, I'm a pretty big fan of the UFC. And I can remember watching some fights a couple of weeks ago, and almost every person that won, as soon as they started their interview, was, I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I told my wife, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I think every person that's come up here tonight. And then even, you look at big podcasts like Joe Rogan, where he was completely anti. And now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wesley Huff, but he had Wesley Huff, who's a Christian historian, on there recently, and just very open to things that he would not have been open to just a few years ago. So
I think he's even been going to church.
I did hear that.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah,
Joe Rogan's been attending church.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that he's a believer, but I know that I've heard.
But I think he's seeking.
He's looking.
And I respect him. He has a lot of profanity in his shows, but he's open-minded to new ideas, new thoughts.
Well, I think what's happening is like he's looking at what's happening out in the world, and then you kind of see what's in the Bible, and it's like, man, that's truth. Like it matches of what's going on out there. I mean, the way things are, the evil that's out there. I mean, it's all written. It's there. The truth is there.
I think for a non-believer to be able to open up the Bible and start connecting the dots, like, oh, this is real. I think it's probably a scary feeling for them. Like, oh, should I be getting into this right now? You know, like, have I been sleeping on this whole time? And yeah, I think I didn't know Joe Rogan was going to church and stuff though. But
you've seen that with athletes and stuff. I mean, I know you sent me a clip of Diamondbacks player, and he's
Genio.
Yeah, and he's playing the Christian song as he goes up to the play, right, or something like that.
That was the catcher McCann. He's playing that Jolly Roll, Hard Fought Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Pretty popular song. That's out right now.
But you're seeing a lot of that, right? I mean, a lot of pro players, and they're just coming out. And I can't remember. There was another one. The video you showed me. That was the other guy, right?
I can't remember.
He showed me the video at FTL the other night. I think Rebecca had sent it to you. And it's the one that Gustavo was like, this guy sounds fake and whatever. But, I mean, it's just you're seeing that. It's more prevalent. Like you said, the culture seems like there's a shift. It's like maybe that pendulum's coming back the other way. I don't know.
Because I was at UFC the last headliner when they had Olivares. He had lost, and everybody had said, first of all, I just want to give thanks. Yeah. And some of them kind of like swore and things like that after they did.
Like, I don't
kind of
know.
messed it up. But there were some that were legitly just giving God.
Like Kayla Harrison, I mean, she comes up right away. She prays for the other person when she's done fighting. Like, it's pretty wild.
I haven't seen it, but I think that goes with, how you say, some of them, gave praise to Jesus and all that, and then, profanity came out their mouth. But I think it's like how you were saying, you always were seeking God, or you would always say like, I believe God. For a lot of people, it's like, it is that, and the stuff that comes out of their mouth, it's not Christian, right? It's like listening to your nana, or like when they drive by a church, and for Catholics, I grew up Mexican, they all do the cross and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's just you grew up knowing that and hearing it, but you weren't actually like diving into it and saved and a believer, right?
And it could be too that they are saved, and it's just they're being sanctified. I mean, they're
the Tony.
Think
aspect.
about Tony, the HR nightmare, right?
The HR nightmare. He's growing, right? He's growing.
Tony's funny.
Just the maturity of a new believer, and
and for me and Crosso, when we met, I didn't know his background. He's a detective, but you're also going to school for. What were you going to school for?
Yeah,
again?
I got my bachelor's degree in Christian ministry, and I've been working on my master's degree. Originally, it was in chaplaincy, and I just switched to pastoral counseling.
So the way our relationship started growing more from just going and doing talks to officers, and then we'd go do talks to at-risk youth, and talk to them about gang life and prison, and try to push the conversation away from like, dude, you don't want to go in there. Me and Alex were going to get married in Italy, and I was like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if Crosso could marry us over there, officiate the wedding. And she said, yeah, you think he would do it? I'm like, I don't know. That was a pretty long shot, and so we had came up with the wedding invitations and everything, and I had asked him, and he said, "Yeah, dude, it'd be an honor to go and do that, And I was like, "How do we get the wedding invitations to him?" And I'm like, "Is it gonna be weird for me to ask him for his address?" I'm like, maybe I should just set up like a breakfast and just like, "Oh, here, dude," just and. We didn't have an answer for it. We were just like, just go for it. Just ask him. And that's when I was telling you guys last time that he gave me the address, and I was like, I got his address,
The golden ticket.
I know. It was just, for me, it was a huge milestone in our friendship, And and everything has just progressed from there. And when I got baptized last year, and I told him about it, he's, oh yeah, I won't miss it for the world, you know? Like,
That's cool.
I'm Rebecca Mendez with Lamplight Ministries, where I serve the Lord by loving others through biblical counseling and workshops. Every day, we're reminded of our fallen world. Through disappointment, grief, fear, despair, we need a Savior. And in Jesus Christ, we have that Savior. He came to rescue us, offering His Spirit to guide us and His Word to comfort, correct, and lead us. If you're a follower of Christ, eager to grow in Him, I'd be honored to walk this journey with you through one-on-one biblical counseling. Together, we'll explore God's Word, find encouragement, and pursue faithful obedience to our Savior. Please visit me at lamplightministries.com to book your appointment today.
How was it seeing JJ getting baptized?
It was fantastic. Like, it was amazing. But I knew that he was heading in that direction. And so I wasn't surprised, when he told me. Obviously, he lives way out here, so we would mostly see each other. Like, we'd get together for breakfast or something. I'd meet up with him and Alex because they were working over in the East Valley. But yeah, when he told me he was getting baptized, I wasn't surprised. I think I had already gone to church with them once before. Just wanted to check it out. So I came out here, went to church with them, and then I don't even know how much longer it was.
probably like 6 months later.
6 months, yeah, when he told me he was getting baptized. So I was like, yeah, I'll be there for that.
So cool.
So in your experience, how many people do you see like JJ that maybe had experience in doing criminal activity, come to change their lives? I imagine it's not common.
It's definitely not common. And when I think about it, it probably happens more than I assume, but I don't see it. And it's just because him and I had that early contact when he got out, and we started doing the talks together, and kind of building that relationship where we stayed in touch. Whereas had I not run into him that day, he'd still probably, I'm sure, be doing the same stuff he's doing now. I just wouldn't know about it. I mean, there's one other guy that I talk to on a semi-regular basis who's also, done some time in prison and gotten out. And, him and I will chat with each other, and he's a Christian. And so really there's probably like two people that I've been a cop for 21 years.
And I think that's just, the Lord working in both of our lives. I think I talked about it last time, like for me to pull into that parking lot, we always talk about it. For me to pull into that abandoned parking lot on that day to look for the barbershop that was right across the street. And, I didn't know he was a Christian then. And it was just, me and an officer, and just for everything that's happened, he does he does another program now that he teaches, but it'd be interesting just to see what the future holds, or if God uses us together as a tool to go and reach out to people or not, you just never know where he wants you at, But our talks have usually been, about gangs and trying to get, people to step away from that life. Just me speaking from experience, like that's not where you want to be. It's not a cool place. It's not something to glorify, but to do it from a Christian standpoint and talk to people about what God has done for both of us and how he's brought us together. And I think that'll be interesting,
Yeah.
Do you have visions of that, or?
Yeah, I would love to see what the future holds. I definitely place all of this in God's hands and recognize God's timing. Exactly what JJ was just talking about. That we were working a special detail that day. It's not a day that I normally work. It was my sergeant that first contacted him, and he just called me on the phone. He's like, hey, this dude just pulled up on a motorcycle. He's all tatted up. He's like, can you head my way? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then again, we're talking about 14, 15 years later, and just you can't like deny those kind of connections in your life.
God's sovereignty in the matter.
For sure.
So do you have plans for, I mean, you said you're going to, or you did school, or you're going to school for pastoral counseling. Is that kind of like life after police, or is that, so you're just trying to maybe do something while now, or what's your plan?
Yeah, I think originally my plan, so I was trying to be a chaplain on our department. We don't have any sworn officer chaplains. So I was trying to work it out with my department to be a chaplain, which is why I was pursuing the chaplaincy side of things. But I've been to a ton of chaplains training. I've actually I took a break from school for a year because I realized my faith had almost kind of become this academic pursuit. And so I was like, I need to step back and read my Bible just to read my Bible, not because it's what I got to do for my homework this week, right? So I took a break. I'm actually just in my first class back, but when I went back, I decided I was going to change from a chaplaincy cohort to pastoral counseling, not with necessarily any intentions of being a pastor, but just to see where it takes me. I mean, when I got my bachelor's degree in Christian ministry, it was, I want to get a bachelor's degree. I really didn't need to. And this would be a good route to go. And so I did it. So that's kind of the same avenue that I'm taking with my master's degree. I don't need a master's degree, but let's see where it'll take me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just think of the impact you have out there too. If you run into somebody and maybe they messed up, but then in the end they're seeking like help beyond just positivity, but seeking God in a different way, and you have those tools to reach them and to show them the light. Because I think a lot of people out there are just looking and
Lost.
just lost, just doing dumb stuff because they have no other thing to do, or they're bored, and they've come too far, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to live this life anymore. I'm done with it.
For me, it's always been drug addiction. Seems to be the thing that keeps people, like even the people with the best intentions, it's once they get sucked back into that addiction that you see them kind of veer back off of the path of doing good, because like you were asking, how many people do you actually see who do it? I hear it all the time. I hear people say, this is, when I worked at county jail, all right, you ain't ever going to see me again. This is the last time. And I'm handing them their property on Saturday as they're leaving out the jail, and then on Monday, I'm putting their property back in a locker because they got arrested already again, And so that's the thing is finding that way to be consistent with what you really want to do, and it seems to always be an addiction that pulls people back in.
Yeah, and we have FTL, and we do that every Friday night, and we see that as well. Had a friend pass away, just couldn't kick the habit.
Drug overdose, yeah.
But in reality, I believe he was saved. He was, and we've talked about it before, he was convicted. He would come and he would cry, and he would, he was convicted. I mean, the Spirit was working, but he just had that physical addiction. He just couldn't kick it, and it took him.
Yep.
FTL is addiction ministry.
Yes, sir.
Freedom That Lasts that we have at the church every Friday.
And it's different than church. I tell people, like, do I have to dress up? I'm like, no, it's not. It's pretty informal, and you can share your story and share as much as you want. And
come as you are.
Come as you are.
I think of it as a little church service, though, because we do praises, we do sing some songs, we have a small group, we pray, and then we have a challenge, a message, and then we have food and fellowship. And
no ramen and birria, but we do have food.
We could.
JJ's
we
cooking the next
could.
one.
I don't know how they would feel about
Take the
bringing ramen into the church.
Take air out of Denise's tires and like, hey, I don't know what happened there. You can take her place, take her place and make the ramen.
You know, but the interesting thing when you guys are talking about, it's just, you know, it's planting seeds with people, right? Like it's, you don't know when that seed's going to stick.
Yeah.
You know, to listen to JJ's story and the people that he has in his life that he knew prior to going to prison, and you know, Dino that picked him up from prison and put him to work the first day out. Like that was a seed that was planted years and years and years ago. So
yeah, my brother Dino, he when I was a troubled kid, 17 years old, on probation, they had given me a job coordinator to show me how to conduct myself in a job interview. They took me to the store and got me like, you know, dress clothes, because you know I'm from the hood. You know, I had Dickies and muscle shirts. You know, and
No Ben Davis.
yeah, some Ben Davis, some Frisco, and I met my, you know, he's my brother now, Dino. It was like everything that I want to do. I was like, they're like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to hook up car stereos. You know, I was a kid. They're like, all right. And every place that we went to, they're like, you got any experience? I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, you're not gonna touch our stuff. You know, like we work with some pretty expensive stuff. And we had hit up, I don't know how many places, but we're coming down Mill Ave, and there was like this store, and it had like all these bright letters and everything on there, and they're like, it was an Arizona tent, and it's Arizona tent, car stereos and alarms. And my job coordinators want to stop by, check this place out, and I was like, sure. And I met Dino and his wife Tammy, my sister Tammy. They always talk about it. They said, yeah, when we met Jose, they call me Jose. They said when we met Jose, you know, he was just really, you know, standing straight up and just, you know, serious look on his face. And Dino said, want to learn how to tint windows? And I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And he taught me how to tint windows and hook up car stereos, alarms, all that. And he's the one that picked me up from prison. But he used to try to take me to church too when I was younger. And for him to pick me up was just like a lifesaver. Yeah. They picked me up from prison, and he put me to work that same day in his garage. He wires hot rods and everything. I think we were working on a razor. But he put me to work that same day. He said, I'm going to need you the next, you know, tomorrow. I'm like, all right. So every day we'd just go, and it was just God working in my life, you know. Even I didn't see it then, you know. Just he's putting all these people in my life. And Dino was there as well when I got baptized. Dino, my sister Tammy, Crosso. But yeah, these are all, you know, influences that I've had since I've been out. Been out 5 years now.
Well, it sounds like you have that opportunity now, and you talked about this chat that you have with your family and friends, and you're the guy now. Maybe you're that guy you're the Dino. You know what I mean?
So I reach out to like, or sometimes I have people that, because you know, prison was a big part of my life for all my life. And sometimes I have these guys that get out, and they'll reach out to me on social media, and I always tell all of them, you know, I'll love you from a distance. I'll wait to see, like, get a feel for you. You know, I'm not just going to show up to your house and you're doing some bad stuff that I don't want to be around. But Cross was like, it makes me sort of nervous. You know, you talking to some of these people sometimes. And Alex is the same way. Alex is like, yeah, you know, but like I said, I'll you know, I have, you know, my friend Thumper. I've been trying to help him out since he got out, just being there for him. I brought him to church one time, but he's doing good. He gets a CDL on the 1st, but he'll call me and chat sometimes. And he was just like, man, I'm just really grateful for you, and you're an inspiration to me, and I'm happy to see you doing good. And for me, that's just like, how can I give back? How can I please God? He's been so good to me, and everything that I have right now. I have a wife. I have a family, kids. I have good friends in my life that I'm grateful, for this friendship, for you guys. God gave that to me, and I don't think he just set me up just so I can just, live a lavish life and just, sit at home and eat birria ramen, It's like, okay, dude, like you got to get to work sometime, and trying to figure out, what it is that I need to do. I'm like, maybe I need to reach out to people. Maybe, my story will help out some people, hopefully, they get saved. That's the goal, right? But if not, at least maybe I could just, be that influence to tell you just get a job and just work and just pay bills and be normal, So
I think it's a little bit of both, right? I mean, you can love on these people and show the love of Christ, and maybe working them at that from that angle. You're helping them get a job or whatever, but at the same time, they're watching you and how you live and conduct your life.
It's like you said, plant that seed,
right? And you're shining that light of Jesus, and so invite them to church, just little things, or hey, pray before your meal or whatever, and just these little seeds that you're planting and you're showing them, just drawing them in, but building that relationship. And you never know, man, you might lead somebody to Christ, and that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I think, for me, I always remember when I was in juvenile in Adobe Mountain, I always remember there was this guy that was all tatted up. I think he was from California. He came to talk to us at church one time, and I always remember his story was just captivating. His testimony was captivating to me. I'm like, oh man, he looks like all my family, and but he's been saved, and he had this saying. What did he say? He said, "Man, I was beat up from the feet up. I was tore up from the floor up. I needed a checkup from the neck up, And I was like, oh, this dude, he knows how to rhyme. But he sort of planted a seed then, and sometimes you're gonna plant seeds everywhere, and you're not gonna stick around to see that blossom into anything. You'll probably never see it again, but hopefully, somewhere years later they're telling that story.
Eternity only knows, right? When you get to heaven and you may hear stories of people that you had an influence on.
Yeah. Or you might get to, you might not be the one planting the seed. You might get the opportunity to pull that little harvest right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because other people have been planting, and then you're the one that's just,
right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You never know. I mean, you never know what part of the story you're going to
process.
End up in the process, right? God can use you in all kind of different ways, man.
Yeah.
I think he already is using you.
Only time will tell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it when we were going out and talking to kids and stuff. Just even some of the crazy connections that he had with kids. Like, he's like, "Oh yeah, I know your dad," and I'm like, "How do you know their dad?" Like, we're in Pinal County right now, and
oh yeah, that's Pinal County. Then when we went to the school too, when Alex came along, we did like those 4 classes. I knew that kids. He was from my neighborhood. He's like, "Oh, so?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're talking about Pepe," which is funny because Pepe had got out after that, and I got him a job at CBI. Yeah, I'm like, "I seen one of your nephews at school." I'm like, "He's a little knucklehead, man." Like, went over there to talk to him about, we always talk about this. Like, you go talk to these kids, and they're at risk. They're like already in that life or drawn to that life, and you go and talk to them and try to steer them away from it. Like, hey, I've been down that road. Like, this is what you got to look forward to, you know? And there's always that one that's just seems more intrigued about that life, like asking you all the wrong question, you know? So when you were there, did you do this or did you have that? And it's like, all right, dude, like, got to go somewhere else. Yeah.
And even Frankie at our church, you know, Tony's friend, that he was in the sober living house.
Oh, right.
You knew kind of where he was from too.
Yeah, Tony brought somebody to church one time, but he was all tatted up like me too. You know, I was like, "Who's that guy over there?" You know, and introduced myself. I'm like, "Oh, so and so." I'm like, "Where you from?" He's like, "Guadalupe." I'm like, "Where all my family's from?" You know, it's me, JJ. You know, we just knew all the same people, but yeah. I mean, when you talk about like all the bad neighborhoods and everything in Arizona, yeah, I'll know somebody from there just from the prison system or something, you know. Same thing like where I used to work at CBI. Like, I was good at my job because we would have a lot of people from the prison culture that would go in, and I would be able to relate to them because they're like, "Oh, you don't know, I'm from so and so." I'm like, "Oh, you know Sasso?" Like, "Yeah, how do you know?" "That's my good friend." Like, "Oh, you know," and then sort of de-escalates people, but yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of the powerful thing about it, right? Because all these people knew you as the old JJ, right? Mm-hmm. And now when they see you, it's the new creature, the new JJ, and they it's like, what's different? Like,
I want that.
How did that happen? You know, and that's where the power of this comes in. This power of this story comes in. The changed life, the power of God. It's amazing, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Sasa last time. Like, next time you guys go out, you know, with Freedom That Lasts, I'd like to go along. Just help out wherever I can, you know.
It's funny because we were passing out bags to the homeless, and Tony recognized a dude that we passed a bag out from being rehab. He's like, "Yeah, I was in rehab with that guy."
Right.
Like, I think the second or third time.
Right.
And he said in the criminality, it's really a small world.
Yeah.
People
know
people.
Yeah, really small
Sadly.
world.
Yeah.
If you're going to give any parting words or just anything about your story, and you want our listeners to know about you or your story or about anything, what would you have to say?
I think the biggest thing for me, and especially as it relates to JJ, is it just really shows. I've seen people with a Christian heart, just how they've had that effect on his life, whether it's his father-in-law, whether it's the church that you guys go to. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of places that he could have walked into with the tattoos all over his head and over his arms and could say, "Yeah, we're a church," but might not have been so kind to him, right? And so, I think that's my biggest thing is, like, if we're going to say we're Christians, we have to really act like that.
Amen.
And we talked a little bit earlier about, where I, from a police officer perspective, I could see where people who I know are Christians, but you almost try to wear two different hats. It's like, well, I have to wear this police officer hat, but I'm a Christian. And it's like, we actually did an exercise in one of my classes, and my professor said, "Hey, what are the roles in your life?" And it was like, well, I'm a father, and I'm a husband, and I'm a Christian, and I'm a police officer. And, you lay out all these roles. And everybody did the same thing. And he said, "No, you guys all got it wrong." And so he pulls Christian out of everybody's list, and then he kind of draws a line over the top of everything and then writes Christian. And so it's like, you're a Christian father, you're a Christian police officer, you're a Christian husband. And so when you take that perspective into your life, and I think that's the perspective that allowed me to even be open to that first conversation with JJ, is like, hey, I want people to turn to Christ. I want, that for people. But if we're going to shut people out, how do we ever get that? How do we ever get to that spot? And so I think that's the biggest thing is, like, if you say you are a Christian, live it out. Like, be open to people, give people grace. And a lot of times, like I said, I think a lot of people would just look at JJ and go, not that guy.
Yeah.
You know? And so we have to really be careful with that.
Well, and I think that's the model of Jesus, right? I mean, he sat with publicans and sinners and prostitutes and people that maybe looked like JJ or whatever, and he loved on them. He didn't cast them out. They were the cast outs, and he drew them in to his sphere of to his his circle, and he loved on them
And used them.
And the powerful thing is he looks on the heart, right? He's not.
right.
He doesn't care about your appearance.
Outward appearance.
He cares about your heart.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Amen. He redeems.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a good episode, guys, and appreciate you coming on the show, Scott. It's good to meet you. JJ, welcome back, and glad to have you, and maybe another episode in the future. Or maybe we'll outdo.
Big Tone.
We'll have to surprise. Was Rebecca's the third?
Rebecca's like four, I think
Three,
three or
four?
four times, something like that. Yeah.
so-
She might be. She don't even listen to the podcast, so we can't have her on anymore. But JJ doesn't either, so he don't listen to himself.
Yeah. Maybe I'll listen to this one.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to listen to that one. Part 1, part 2. You can see the improvement, bro.
And then Tony, if I do one with Tony, I'll definitely listen to that one. Just listening to Tony in general is just.
We gotta have Diane with the mute button. You know what I mean? Ready to get Tony.
It's going to be the little buzzer, and then it's got to blur these words.
Pixelate his
Yeah,
mouth.
pixelate.
You know what I mean?
Put it on a delay.
Yeah, we need a delay for sure. Love you, Tony.
Love you, Tony. Shout out to Tony.
Oh, man. Well, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. And thank you all for listening to this episode of the podcast. Remember to subscribe. And if this episode's been a blessing to you, please give us a thumbs up. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye
Number
for now.
70. Bye.
Number 70. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Abundant Life Podcast. We pray you were blessed by today's episode. Please visit us online at abundantlife.fm. Until next time, may God bless you.